drill units that had the single ball bearing on your true V openers. They now offer a retrofit blade that has a double ball bearing, and then you get an adapter that goes through the bearing and will tighten down on the threaded stud on the other one, to where you can put a heavier duty bearing set up on the older planers. We're going to go to closing wheels, and there's all types of different closing wheels. You've got the rubber tire, you've got the cast iron, you've got notch. If you go out and look on aftermarket planer parts, you can find just about anything you want to be able to afford. Basically on the closing wheels, like I tell guys, you need to watch where they bolt onto these drill units. The holes up in here, the two bolts that bolt them on, you can pivot these closing wheels back and forth. You need to make sure that when these closing wheels are down, they are centered over the true V trench, because if, like guys that plan around corners, or you hit something, it can knock these off to the side. So you'll have one wheel that's riding closer to the side of the trench, and the other one's not even on it, to where it's not getting the true V closed right. So you need to check and make sure. And if you have any issues, you just loosen the two bolts up inside, slide it over to where it's lined back up, and then tighten those back down. Along with that, how many guys have ever found that this arm breaks back here? And the spring. You're right. The eyelet breaks off the spring, or the handle breaks off. Once those break, you're not going to close that trench up. So you need to get out and check those from time to time and make sure. Because, you know, when it's not closing the trench up, then it's going to let the wind in there and dry it out. The seed's not going to come up, and it's not going to get covered up right. So that's very important to check. Everybody talks about we want to cover more acres before we have to stop and refill. It's still a good time to get out and walk around your planter and make sure your closing wheels are still there, your gauge wheels are still on, that the closing system's working. So who wants to go out and plant 200 acres before they get out and find out that that's not working? That's a good way to have a big mess. So with that, I want to go to the row unit drives. For the guys with the box planters, this is overlooked. I find a lot of issues with these. Basically, you can see the movement we get in these arms right here. They shouldn't move like that. When they're new, like this one I'm going to pass around, there's hardly any play in them. What you should do is you need to take these off at least once a year. You pull a pin out, slide these off, and shoot a couple shots of grease in here. That keeps these arms lubricated up, and it keeps them from wearing the aluminum housing out like that. What you'll typically find is you pull a box off to clean it out, you drop it back down into place. Instead of those spring loads back out like they should, you'll get back in and start planting. Well, this row's not planted. You go back there, and maybe by then the arms will pop back down, and then they'll start driving. But those are very important to check right there. Chains are very important. A lot of these planters set outside during the season. If we get rained on, planter chains, lubricating them is very important to make sure that they stay limbered where they don't have links that are locked up. Because what I've found, you get a guy that's planting along, he has a row unit that starts dropping the seed off. Stops planting, then it picks back up, and then it drops the seed off. Well, when the links get froze up in there, it'll make that unit jerk, and it'll make it drop the seed off. So that's very important there. The next thing are just the rollers that the chains ride on. They'll wear out, get flat spots in them. So it's just a good thing to look at them. Another good alternative, if you want, on the older box planters, they have a retrofit kit here we can put on, which is the cable drive system, which is a real nice setup. And if you ever want to go to put row clutches on, they make a different head that has a clutch in it too for doing section control. But these cables are looped for life when you get them from Deere, so they say you don't need to take them out and grease them. So it's just basically an overgrown speedometer cable. Row units. I want to get into row unit brushes now. Well, you can see in this one right here, guys, Basically in this planter here with a Pro Series, you get 3 different brushes in it. If you have a box planter, it has just this long brush right here, unless it's had updated and you put the ProMax 40 discs in. For the guys that are switching from corn to Milo, do you guys use the ProMax 40 corn discs in them? It has a special brush just for the corn disc for the ProMax 40. You've got to make sure it's a 4-step brush in there. Originally from Deere, if you run just the self-plate, is a 3-step brush. So if you're switching from corn to soybeans or corn to Milo, you need to make sure that you put this brush in for corn and put the other one back in for soybeans and Milo. If not, you can have some issues there. Especially if you leave this one in to plant corn with, it'll start wiping the extra seeds off the plate.